I made a mistake. Or did I? Welcome back to another Pokemon Sleep video. It's Bro Vinny here. Today we're going to talk about how often these hungry Pokemon occur and how likely you are to get a mega hit or a big hit. Now, before we delve into my mistake, I want to show you guys this new infographic from one of the Pokemon Sleep Discords, and credits to Disgizier for making this chart. And it beautifully summarizes data points of over 15,000 biscuits fed to see the chances of these big hits and mega hits happening. Now, just to clarify a little bit of a misunderstanding that I've seen some people have, is that they thought that Great Biscuits meant 90% hungry, and then somehow read this chart in this way where Great Biscuits were separated from the rest of the biscuits. So the chart doesn't work like that. The chart works like this. All three biscuits have a certain percentage chance of triggering either no hits, mega hits, or big hits. The +1 obviously just means for Poke Biscuit. If you were using any other biscuit, it would either be +3. So for example, Great Biscuit, or if you're using the regular bonus biscuit, it will be +3 there. And if it's a premium bonus biscuit, then obviously that should say +4. And the same thing if it's happening with the big hit, where you would get either +3 or +4 in those little heart bubbles. So the chance of a mega hit, in other words, a mega hit being a guaranteed catch, just like a master cookie, is 2% across the board. So it doesn't matter what you feed at what point, if there's no hungry, it's 2%. But if your Pokemon has the hungry status, which is this little icon here, that chance becomes 10%, which is 5 times bigger. And because the hungry status just means that you're going to get ×3, so there's nothing down here. There is no percentage. You can't get a +1 when you've got a hungry. It has to be at least +3 because it's always at least a big hit. And 90% of the time, you're going to get big hit because 10% of the time, it's a mega hit when the Pokemon is hungry. But really, the only number you got to remember is that when you've got hungry, it's a 10% chance of a guaranteed catch. And when you're not hungry, it's a 2% chance of a guaranteed catch, 8% chance of a big hit, which together adds up to be 10%. So 10 is the magic number here. So if there's just one number you have to remember, just remember every time you feed a cookie, there's a 10% chance that something good will happen. And just a reminder is that shiny Pokemon are a guaranteed catch no matter what biscuit you use, so always use the Poke Biscuit. And that is why shiny is in the mega hit column. And of course with Master Biscuit, it just guarantees that mega hit, so that's why it's also in this column. So what was the mistake that I made? When I entered this sleep research session, I had 2 hungry Dittos. I even memed the whole thing. I was super happy to get a hungry Pokemon, a hungry Ditto, and then get a hungry Ditto again. But in the chat, in the comment section below, I was told about 3 to 4 times that I had fed the Ditto wrong. Because what I did was I fed the first one a Great Biscuit, which gave it 3 bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, leaving only 2 bars at the end, when I should have fed a premium bonus biscuit. But I may not have said this in the chat, yet it was in the video. I didn't actually have a premium bonus biscuit at this point. I had used it on the same day for an earlier session. So my best bet was always going to be a Great Biscuit. But the suggestions were to use 2 Great Biscuits on the first Ditto, and then use the premium biscuit on the second Ditto. That way I would build up the most amount of friendship bars. But as I said before, my premium biscuit was already used. Which means then the next best option should be to feed the first one a Great Biscuit using filling up 9 of the friendship bars, leaving only 2 bars, then using 2 Poke Biscuits to fill up that Ditto, then using a Great or a Poke or a bonus biscuit on that second Ditto to get the most out of that hungry status. Unfortunately, the problem with this method is it could become full after I feed it that 1 Poke Biscuit, leaving me to feed the other Ditto that was hungry with only 1 Poke Biscuit, yet it's hungry, wasting 2 extra friendship points. So this was not the ideal situation either. I would be taking a gamble doing it this way. And then another great suggestion is to use a 2 great biscuits on the first Ditto, so that at least I could use any other biscuit on the hungry Ditto to build up the friendship points again. Now, once again, just to clarify on this comment here is that it again assumes that I still have my premium biscuit, which I don't. Feeding the second Ditto with a premium biscuit would also be the most efficient, if I had one. But these comments all have a good point. I should be using a great biscuit on a hungry status Pokemon that have a lot of friendship bars. But what did I do? I decided that I would feed the first Ditto a great biscuit so that I get 9 bars out of this Ditto. Obviously, with a premium bonus, it would have been even better. Then I would feed the next one a Poke Biscuit guaranteeing my catch. I had a separate problem at this point, is that then, at the very last 1 to 2 bars, my Ditto got a mega hit, a guaranteed catch, in a way wasting all of those biscuits that I fed before. Of course, this is a chance thing, I couldn't have predicted it, but now we know what the chance is, about 10%. If we refer back to this chart here for hungry Pokemon, 10%. But let's assume that that didn't happen because 90% of the time it's just the 3 bars that I would have got. Did I waste my Poke Biscuits or Great Biscuits? Well, my argument here is, given that I didn't have a premium bonus biscuit, and that everyone is assuming that I will never get a hungry Ditto again, then yes, I did waste my biscuits, because I should have finished it off with a Great Biscuit on the first Ditto, so that at least I won't get it all full, then use a Great Biscuit on this Ditto. But there is a second assumption here, is that I had another Great Biscuit, which, despite being a paying player, I did not. And while I understand that it would be most efficient to do it the way the comments said, I simply, at that moment, just didn't have the resources. Yes, I could have paid some money and bought some, or used my sleep points. By the way, I didn't have any Great Biscuits in my premium shop anymore. I had used it much earlier in the month already. So at this very moment, it wasn't a reality, and that's why I did it this way. Now, there is a second point. All of this is assuming that my future Dittos will not be hungry. But I play the game like this. Whenever I do see a hungry Pokemon, I do try to feed it no matter what. If it's a high friendship requirement, say Charmeleon, then I would feed it either a great or a premium bonus biscuit. If it's Ditto and it's hungry, again, I would try to feed it a great or a premium bonus biscuit. If it's base stage with only 5 bars, let's say the Meowth over here, which has 5 bars, I would then feed it 1 Poke Biscuit in order to utilize the hungry status the most. So if you think about it as though I only feed Pokemon that are hungry, rather than I feed Ditto all the time, then it doesn't matter because Poke Biscuits are the best value in this game. Let's use sleep points as an example. If I have a hungry Ditto just the one time, then using a Great Biscuit would have costed me 400 sleep points to get 9 bars. But if I had 3 hungry Dittos, and obviously it takes a lot longer to achieve 3 hungry Dittos, then it would take me 300 sleep points in order to reach 9 bars of friendship, which is actually 100 points cheaper than using a Great Biscuit. And it applies just the same if you use the Diamond Shop to compare. The problem with using the lowest, the best efficiency biscuit, that is the Poke Biscuit, is that your Pokemon can become all full. How often are we going to encounter a hungry Ditto? I mean, a Ditto to begin with is pretty rare. But if you're semi-free to play or free to play, Poke Biscuit, even though it takes a lot longer, is the way to go. So all of those comments are right, as long as you want that Ditto really bad and really early. But if time is not a problem for you and you're free to play, aside from using the bonus biscuit on a hungry Ditto, well, Poke Biscuit on the Hungries is probably better. And there's one more catch. Using 3 Poke Biscuits to achieve the same result as 1 Great Biscuit, hungry or not, gives you 3 chances to hit one of these mega hits, which is better. But of course, it sucks to see that the mega hit comes at the very last biscuit you feed a Pokemon. But that's just RNG. If I had the foresight, if I could have a crystal ball to say, yep, the future tells me the second Ditto will be a mega hit, definitely I would have fed the first Ditto and then completed feeding it using a second Great Biscuit before then moving on to the second Ditto and then just put a Poke Biscuit on it. And then getting that mega hit. But of course, I don't have that foresight, so I play the game knowing only what I'm more certain of, which are these numbers. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. It wasn't a mistake to feed a Poke Biscuit. It is actually better value. It just takes a lot longer because I gotta wait for more hungry Dittos to show up in order for my value to be worth it. So it's always a question of whether your time is worth more than your money, or your money is worth more than your time when playing games like these. Thank you for watching, guys. Good luck with the Holiday 2023 event. I've left some tips for you guys on my Discord. I will soon put it in the sleep info chat so everyone will be able to see it. Don't forget that you can start your good camp ticket on Sunday night in order to get 8 hungry Pokemon if you time it properly. And not a bad idea to use some helper whistles at the start of the week to boost up that Snorlax strength. Like and subscribe.